What's up, y'all? This is Anwan, your hero. Welcome back, and this is Michelle, and we're gonna be doing another collab of, why we don't have kids, why we chose not to have kids. All right, and that's what this really is gonna be about. Again, I'm 27, and
I'm 26 years old.
all right, so go ahead and start it off.
All right, so I feel like it's very important to talk about why we don't have kids for other people, and the reason why is because it's not a very popular thing for people to talk about. If anything, I heard today, you see a lot of people who have kids, and there's a lot of people who feel compelled to have kids because they see nothing but people who have kids. But there's really not a lot of representation of people who don't have kids. We chose not to have kids, because for us it was more of an advantage not to, and there's a lot of benefits to not having children and stuff like that, because in my opinion, I feel like kids are a big responsibility if you choose to have one. And there will be times where you're not going to want to deal with having children and stuff like that, and there's going to be times where you want to do stuff that you want to do, go places you want to go and stuff like that, hang out with people you want to hang out with, but you can't because you have kids, or you want to work a certain type of job, but you can't because you
Vacations
have a
to the
kid.
vacations to the Palms, vacation to adult places that you can't bring a kid into. You can't find no babysitter. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. So what do you want to start with for you?
For me, uh, basically, I grew up. I'm the oldest of like 8 brothers and sisters, and when I grew up, I had to babysit and help take care of and buy stuff for and do things on holidays, for one of my youngest sisters, and then one of my cousins. And I'm talking like from birth to the point where they're throwing up on you, growing up in the crib, growing up in the wheel, not wheelchair, the high chairs, throwing food and trying to make food for them, and every now and then gotta change a diaper. It always feels wrong to do that. When because they're girls, but um,
How many siblings do you have?
8. Yeah, I got. Well, I mean, there's 8 in total.
Okay, so you have 8 siblings. Okay,
Yeah, it's like you know,
you have eight
there's like
siblings.
a couple, like 4 boys, 4 girls, basically. Yeah. Um.
Okay.
So, for me, I've been through hella abuse, like every type. When you go to the hospital and you have to check mark those boxes of what type of abuse and trauma have you been through. I have to check every single one of those things. So I know how dangerous the world is. You can't always keep up with your children. For me, I prefer uh, working on getting a house and getting maybe getting another house. And I'm trying to change. My reason I don't have kids because I'm trying to spend all my time outside, traveling places, sharing knowledge, you know, because there's people out there that have more of an ability to do things and they know more people, more connections to do things and make a difference than I can, and they're just looking for that right person and that right advice, from somebody that's going to leave them or give them the drive to, change the world as a whole, or change, the place they live, or here, like the United States, this place and things like that. Basically, that's why I'm not, I'm not having a kid, so that I can share and provide information and whatnot, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Um, I would say the reason why I don't. Could you hold this for?
Yeah, I got you.
The reason why I feel like it's important not to have kids, and you probably seen people walk past us with kids. That's one of the reasons that I don't want to have kids, is because personally, I feel like people who have kids, I feel like they may not necessarily be as considerate to you if you're doing something that you're trying to do, like we're trying to do a video and stuff like that. And I think people with kids, they're not very considerate, like the people you've seen walk past us. They're not. If those people were considerate, you know what I'm saying, they would have walked around, like down there on the sidewalk, where they're not bothering us or anything like that, or whatever. No disrespect to them, but I think it's important to give people their space, people who I don't know, because I don't know what they're trying to do personally and stuff like that. And some people are working on things that are important. In this video, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help people who do not have children, and I think it's very important for people to be respectful And if you're not respectful, I feel like you shouldn't have kids if you're not respectful, because what the hell are you teaching your kids at home? A lot of people feel like, oh, if I have kids, and I have more insight or whatever. Well, what you did is what other people do. You slept with the person, to have these kids. Difference between you and the other person who doesn't have kids, a couple who doesn't have kids, is that, the people who don't want kids, they just chose not to, they chose to use birth control so that they don't have children, and stuff like that, because they want to do things and stuff like that. And I feel like it's beneficial not to have kids, because, there's times where I don't want to be bothered with screaming kids or people walking around behind me with kids and stuff. There's times where I just want to, just have my own space, and that includes when I'm at home. If I want to go and watch TV or go to a party or, do whatever I want to do, I can. I never have to worry about unnecessary noise or a baby waking me up at 2 in the morning and stuff like that. I don't have to deal with that. I can eat the kind of food I want to eat.
Right.
When I want to eat it. Now people gonna say, "Oh, well, you're being selfish." Oh, I'm being selfish? Well, don't y'all pick out what kind of TV show you want to watch or what movie you want to go to, or what kind of shoes or clothes you wear? That's selfish in itself. People make selfish decisions all the time.
Yeah, I
This
mean, she very that's very true. About the whole thing, because I get that a lot. Well, you're selfish because you're not gonna have a kid, but yet I don't see them adopting.
Yeah, and there's thousands of kids in the adoption agency that nobody adopts. The only kid they will adopt is if it's a baby, tentatively. But most people are gonna say, "Well, I want to have a little me." But
That's selfish right there.
what people don't think about is they think about the little them as, "Oh, it's gonna be neat to have a little me," right? Okay, cool. But what about the time when you caused your parents grief? What about when you threw rocks and stuff like that, or you got in a fight, so you did all this stuff that your parents did not like? You know what I'm saying? What about if your kid's your worst nightmare? And here you are with this kid, and you find out they're your worst nightmare.
You
You
know,
know?
yeah. I mean, they'll say things like, what about you're gonna miss them when they start to walk or start to crawl, start to learn all that stuff. And I was like, well, guess what? I get to, because I got siblings right now who having babies. Hey, I get to be around when they're walking, and I get to walk around when they're trying to learn how to grab a spoon, and when they learn how to run, and when they first get into their first sports, or their first extracurricular activity, and I get to see them learn and all that good stuff that
Yeah.
y'all talk about.
And
I get to see that stuff. Now, all that bad stuff you never tell anybody because you want people to do the same thing that y'all do and have the same miseries that you have, because misery loves company now. I mean, so all that stuff that you don't tell a person because they won't have a kid if you do. So I get to experience all that nice stuff y'all talk about.
Yeah, and for me, I have a nephew, and I get a chance to see pictures of him and videos of him doing stuff or whatever. He doesn't live, where I live. He lives in another state with his mom or whatever, who's happens to be my sister. But, in my family, other people have kids too, and I get a chance to see them doing stuff too. They little birthday parties and different stuff like that. Just because I don't choose to have a screaming kid, doesn't mean I don't get a chance to see the experience and stuff like that. I get a chance to see it. I've just decided that, I'm not willing to devote that part of myself, all of myself to, some kid, because that's a big responsibility. I said, you can't be with your kid all the time. You don't know if your kid's teacher happens to be some kind of pedophile or something like that. You have
That
no
happens.
idea. This happens more recent, or your kid's going to get kidnapped when they're on the way walking home, or
That
they're going to
happens.
get killed by the police if they're black. Then this is something that can happen to them.
That happens.
you know and if for black kids, you could get killed if you're in elementary school, middle school, or high school. There's an event, I think, that occurred here. I believe it was in Missouri, that occurred here. you know and kids are getting snatched and stuff like that. This is a dangerous world. And I think that, I am taking responsibility for a child who is not here, right now.
And that's
you
what the
know
women always say too. You need to take responsibility for your baby. Men need to take. Okay, but they say men. Men need to take. They don't talk about themselves now. They say men need to take responsibility for their child. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all right now. There's lots of articles out here right now, currently. Okay, and that's been going on even before Trump. Okay, about businesses going out, places are going out of business by like 200 stores closing, lots of 500 stores closing across the U.S. Okay, guess what? If I was to have a kid and I worked at one of those businesses, me, the baby, I'll be out of work, I'll be homeless. I lived a homeless life before. Uh, yeah. So those people you see out there with the signs, holding signs, nah. Nah. The real homeless stuff, you looking for something to eat yourself. You don't have time to waste holding signs. You're knocking on people's doors. Sometimes you ask if you can spend the night. Sometimes you're asking, you ask, most of the time you're asking for food. Sometimes they'll just give you a drink. And some people are going to have a gun and they're going to tell you no trespassing. And some people are going to have a gun and say, I don't like niggers. This is true. Now, I lived that and I know that. So in a place where you're watching, you're getting notified that all age groups of schools, grade levels, we're talking preschool, kindergarten, okay? We're talking elementary school, we're talking middle school and high school. They're all getting shot up, folks. And you're going to let your kid go to the movies. Great, your kid's going to go to the movies with a friend. That sounds wonderful. Then you got to sit there and worry about, oh crap, what if the movie gets shot up just like the other times? That stuff is like a real freaking deal.
Yeah,
right?
and
that's why I don't have kids, yo.
And also with the school shootings too. I mean, those things do happen. People are going to say, oh, it's never going to happen to my kid. That's what a lot of people say. It's never going to happen to me, or it's never going to happen to my kid, but it could happen to you. I think that, for people who want to have kids, if you really want to have kids, and what I mean when I say you want to have kids, is you're going to love that child every step of the way. You're going to be there to support them every step of the way. You're going to be there helping them with their homework, helping them with their sports. You're going to be there, nurturing them and stuff like that. And, you're going to be there when they need you. Not just something where you just gonna have a baby and you just there for the little quick experiences that you get throw on social media to show people you have a kid, and then every other time you don't want nothing to do with them. I'm noticing that there's not a lot of people who love their kids these days, and that seems like that is the case these days with people where they don't really love their kids because their kids will come up to them, well, mommy, I want some juice. And then you had the mother says, well, go over there and sit down. Get out of my face. I'm busy. And her mother is on the phone texting or something like that. The dad, he's probably tired from work trying to go to sleep and stuff like that because he got to work a night shift or something, just to support them and stuff like that. And, I think that's not a good environment to bring a child into, and also, too, having a kid in a relationship, if y'all really vested on that and that's really something y'all want to do, great. But y'all got to be prepared to work together as a team to raise a child. Y'all got to be, no matter what happens, y'all got to be, about, each other and caring about each other. But I think you get that by dating a person for not months. Okay, I'm not talking about 1 month or 2 months or 3 months and stuff like that, like a lot of people like to do.
Those girls who say, "Well, we've been together long enough, so we need to get married."
I'm not talking about
the
that
girls
shit.
that be together for only what they do for only 6 months and they get married already.
Well, I'm not talking about that shit. I'm talking about being serious about your relationship first, and you know what? Date for a year. And then, live together for a couple, maybe 2 or 3 years to see if y'all can stand being around each other. Then at that point, then go ahead, and if y'all thinking about getting married, then get married if that's something y'all want to do. But make sure y'all know how you live together, and y'all have some kind of foundation. Then if y'all want to get married, y'all get married. But take your time with the whole after you get married and, spend a few more years together. Then if y'all want to have kids after y'all gotten your house and everything, y'all want to do, then have kids. I would say go along with it that way. In my opinion, that is a smarter opinion. People gonna say, oh, well, I want to hurry up and have the kids early and stuff because I got more energy. Well, yeah, but you won't have any money. You ain't got you can't have a McDonald's job raising no kids.
Let's not pretend, all right? Let's not pretend like we ain't been kids ourselves and don't know some of this stuff. And that's definitely not pretend that if we can't take care of our kids, that they won't be taken away from you.
Yeah, they will. There's people who call child services. Child school can call child services on you because your kid may come to school dirty or whatever, um,
Bruised up, yeah.
and bruised up most likely, or the child could say that you said something or you did something or whatever, or the child feels like they're in a dangerous environment or something like that. I mean, teachers, they may take what the child says seriously, and they could be taken away, and this is a very serious thing that can happen and stuff like that. And I think that people do not realize how much of a commitment a child is. Okay, it's one thing to have sex. That's one thing, but then to enjoy the experience of orgasm is like 30 seconds. You get a chance to enjoy that, and then
30 seconds ain't worth to me. Like 30 seconds ain't worth the 18 to 21 years of monthly payments. Because all she gonna
payments of what?
payments of child support. Because all she gonna do, is take that money. She's gonna take the money you're giving her for child support, use that money to pay another man's rent, who can have sex with that man. So you're paying time, and for her to have sex with another man paying his rent. I mean, that's just messed up. The same goes for alimony, which is why I highly suggest, you know, you getting paternity tests to make sure that you prove the baby's not yours and all this extra stuff. To make sure that just in case you die and anybody that finds the baby and the baby survives, that they know the baby's hereditary diseases and family elements, so that they can work on that and they know how to diagnose them. Okay. What I want to go ahead and do, for those of y'all
Oh,
who's you want to say something right quick?
yeah, I
All
do.
right, go ahead.
What I want to say is about the thing with women or whatever. I'm not gonna say that every woman is, going to be likely to want to just get child support and stuff like that, because it's not every woman. There are a lot of women who do. He probably is saying the majority of women
Yeah.
do that, but I feel like that may not necessarily happen as it may not necessarily happen if you've been with somebody for a while, like a long time, and you guys have an idea of something. But there are safety nets to a lot of different types of things, Paternity tests, I feel like that's important if something should happen. I feel like with dating, you should decide whether or not y'all want to have kids. Don't just say, oops, it happened, and then not know what y'all plan is.
All right.
You should discuss that when y'all dating, but make sure it's not 1, 2, or 3 months y'all been dating and now y'all want to all of a sudden get gung ho and do something because y'all want to have sex. There is people who pressure people into getting married because, they want to have sex. Unfortunately, this happens where people in church will try to force you to get married and stuff like that because they want people in their church to get married by a certain age. This is something that does happen and stuff like that. Now, people do try to use, biblical scriptures to say that, well, God says we should be fruitful and multiply and stuff like that. Well,
Just to get what they
yeah,
want. They just want to do what they want.
yeah, but then you notice animals out here, they only have babies when they sure there's a higher survival rate, and people should do the same. But a lot of
Exactly.
people aren't doing that because they just want to have a little
And
meat.
that means the animal's smaller than you, and you're supposed to be the most intelligent being that's on the earth.
Yeah,
That's messed up.
that's important. But we can go ahead and get into the part that anyone wants to get into. Okay.
All right. So like I said, y'all know this is Airline Your Hero. And this part of the section is for for us, you guys out there who's
And
trying
women.
to, and women, who's trying to, for a lot of women, it's probably gonna piss them off. This is a shine in the mirror to their faces and a lot of things like that. So like I just say mostly for men, because this information, talks like this, a lot are going to be on mainstream media. No Dr. Phil's going to talk about this stuff. No Oprah. Mainstream media is stuff about man bashing. Here we're
Mm,
talking about how you guys are going to survive. So here's the thing. This
okay.
right here
Yeah.
is
You want to turn it right side up. There you go.
okay. So this right here, you need to use this. It's direct. It says extra sensitive. It's all backwards because of the way the camera facing, but this is a condom.
Uh,
Okay. Now,
well, in the
once you,
box there's
I mean, there's
condoms.
condoms in here. Okay, so
You can take one out anyway if
let's
you
just
have.
show you. It looks like this.
Yeah, this is a condom or
First
whatever
thing
it's
you
supposed
want
to
to
look like.
do is you want to check the expiration date on the back. This says that it's not going to expire until 2021. They do last a while, but just always make sure. Keep them in a cool, dry place, and make sure that there's nothing defective, no holes or nothing like that. If you've been, with the chick and she's baby crazy or whatnot, check these things for holes. Another thing is that there's instructions in here. There's instructions in here.
Here you go. There's instructions right here.
Yeah.
It's like a long list and everything.
There is instructions right here. Step 1, 2, 3, 4 that tells you how to put this thing on. Okay? And then there's also this. So for all those women who like to try to con you, man, about, oh, she's allergic to latex. Birth control gets her hormones. And a man should use a condom all the time. Okay, yeah, a man should use a condom 100% of the time. That is his birth control. But I'm sorry to tell you this, but you only got 2 options. You got birth control, which is a condom, and then you have the birth control, which is the vasectomy. That's all you got. Let's go ahead and read that comes on a condom package. Okay, it tells you the uses and who has the most birth control and who doesn't. So let's go ahead and get this straight right here. It comes in every condom package. So let's start reading it. Method: male sterilization. Okay, and then female sterilization. She also has that. Okay, hormonal methods. Implant. Okay, that's for the woman. Hormone injection for the woman. Combined pill for the woman, and mini pill for the woman. Evra patch for the woman. Nuvarang for the woman. I wish I had all these options. I'll tell you right now, because I don't want kids. And I don't have all these options. But when these women out here making it seem like blaming everything on the man. You, like you got all these options. Let's go ahead and keep reading. This is a intrauterine devices, IUDs. Copper T for the woman. Marina for the woman.
IUDs for a woman too.
IUDs the IUDs. All these, the copper T's for the woman, Marinas for the woman, these are the IUDs. Now, barrier methods. Holy crap, we finally get back to us men. Male latex condom. That's right, because women got a female latex condom. Then we got another barrier method called the diaphragm. We got the vaginal sponge. Okay. No previous births, vaginal sponge, no previous births. And then we have a female condom. There we go. Okay.
And then you have spermicide.
Then you got the spermicide. We got gel, foam, cream, suppositories, and film. And then we have the natural methods. Withdrawal, which does not work, because that rate of the pregnancy of that is very high.
Okay.
And we got the natural family planning, and then no methods.
Okay. So, as he said,
I'm gonna hold it for her.
So for women, there are a lot of. I'm turning it this way, dear.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
So, turn it this way. What are you doing?
I'm trying to put it in the bag so it don't blow away.
So for women, there are a lot of forms of birth control. There is also a form of birth control, which is a rice. It's like it's something like a little bitty thing that gets injected into your arm, and basically what that does is it allows a woman to have have birth control inside her body that lasts for I think 3 years. I think one maybe 5 years or something like that can last and stuff like that. So that is something that a woman can get and stuff like that. I think that if a woman doesn't want kids, that's something that she can get and stuff like that. Birth control pills, I would say for a woman, it can be easy for you to mess that up. If you have pills, it can be if you don't know how to use it and you haven't talked to the doctor about how to use it. It's birth control pill is not just something you use after you have sex and the dude that came on you. It's not one of those things that you use. That's not what you use it for. You have to be using it before that happens and stuff. Look like the crickets are kind of starting up and stuff. But, that's not what a birth control pill is for. Now, I'm going to tell you something else about Plan B. So there are some people who, when they find out they're pregnant, they will go and try to get Plan B. And if you're pregnant, it does not work, okay? The only thing after that, if you get pregnant, the only thing you can do is go and get an abortion. That is the only thing that you could do, but you will have to wait. If you're going to Planned Parenthood, you will have to wait. I believe it's You have to wait till about 9 weeks, and then can you get an abortion. There's a lot of people who are going to be against me talking about abortion, and they're going to feel like, well, why would you say that, and stuff like that. But I think, like, for a woman, it's her choice to choose to get an abortion. Now, ladies, just to be honest, um, you have a lot of forms of birth control. If you don't know about them, go to Planned Parenthood. They will teach you about them. If you have clinics that are in, your area, they can teach you about them. If you need to know about them, go to a women's doctor. They will talk to you about those types of things. That's very important. A condom is important, for a guy to have, and also for a woman, because it protects a man from, sexually transmitted
And that's the
diseases.
only thing that does is barrier methods. They're the only thing that do for STDs.
So, I think that's important. But a woman can also use birth control as well. There's another form of birth control that which they said films on the package. So this is for women. This is a birth control. It's called VCF. It's vaginal contraceptive film. And basically, this is a film that can basically comes in a small package or whatever. Do I have any of these
Yeah,
in
there's
here?
several in there.
Where is it at? Okay, so it comes in a pack or whatever. So this is just one right here. Okay, so this is one pack or whatever. And it's a contraceptive film, and basically what happens, what is it? You take it out of here and you fold it,
Yeah.
and then you put it up the
Yeah. I fold it like 1, 2, 3. I fold it 3 times. The package will tell you to fold it twice, but it can get stuck to your finger, okay? And you have to wait 15 minutes. Now, when the chick is over here saying, I don't want to get on birth control pills because of hormones, read this carefully. This specifically says, okay, it's called VCF. You get it from Walmart. It is $12. Now, right there, hormone free, okay? Hormone free. Kills sperm on contact. Begins to dissolve instantly. Okay, so no more excuses for her anymore. It's like $10, and the condom, those condoms are, this comes and it says, it
9.
has 9 in there, okay?
Condoms can come in a 3-pack or a
3-pack
12-pack.
or 12-pack
Probably
or
better
a
have a
24-pack.
or a 24-pack. And I think that for this in particular, for the VCF, yeah, it has no hormones and stuff like that. It is something that has to be inserted and pushed up as far back towards the cervix as
Yeah,
possible.
it's got to be pushed up like as back to the cervix, and then you must wait
15
minutes before
other-
you do anything. So before you no entry. So you can foreplay, you can fondle, you can cosplay, you can role play. But don't have anything doing. Don't be doing anything there, and unless that 15 minutes is up. Make sure you set a timer also. All right. So that gets rid of all those excuses. Now here's the thing: if your chick is asking you for money, she's asking her parents for money, she's asking other guys for money, her friends for money, and she never ever gets something this cheap, she is trying to have a baby. I don't care how many times. And she never gets on birth control ever. She said, oh, I don't want to have a baby, but she never gets on birth control, and she's actually got a job and she can afford to get on that. Nah, you need to get away from that chick because she's trying to have a baby. Now with the condoms, what the condom package doesn't tell you is this: how to prevent a woman getting pregnant after you're done using the condom. What you do is, just like a water balloon, you take the condom, the contents of the condom, you take it, run it, fill it up like a water balloon, and then you just pour it out down the sink. And then you throw away the condom, because there's some chicks dumpster dive. If they know where you live and you live in an apartment complex, they know your freaking address, and they hear your freaking name called before, that's your ass. Because she would just insert that go dumpster dive, insert the contents in the condom. Look, times is hard. You think they're not gonna try that stuff? Ask them basketball players. All right, so that's one of the things you do. Or you take the contents of the condom, you take some hot sauce and you pour it in the hot sauce. Now, if
you pour the hot sauce into the condom.
I'm sorry, you pour the hot sauce into the condom. Now, if she goes to the bathroom saying some stuff like, well, I gotta go take a shower or something like that, and you hear her screaming bloody murder because her cooch is on fire, that's not your fault. She's trying to sabotage you.
Yeah, I think that, you know what, there are methods of birth control that you can use. VCF is one of them. I think a condom is something that is important for a man to carry. I feel like for men, it's important for men to carry, in my opinion, carry your own condoms, especially if you know you're going to be having sex with a woman or anything like that. Do that. Also, something you might want to do to keep yourself safe is make sure that you both get, if you guys are sexually active, make sure you guys get tested.
Yes.
Go to the
Of
hospital,
course.
both of y'all get tested, see each other's results. If
Yeah.
somebody's not wanting to show their results, then they got something going on. They may have STD or something like that. Get
Suspect.
tested, make sure that y'all both do that. you know if y'all are in a committed relationship, you should be comfortable with sharing that information. It shouldn't be something that you want to hide from the other person. If you're the type of person who wants to hide, then you know what, maybe you shouldn't be in a committed relationship. You should just be the type of person who wants to stay single.
What they do for that is they take a cotton swab. It's really long, and they take your penis and they just take and they jab the inside of your penis with the cotton swab. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. I had to take like 3 pills of Motrin. They gave 3 pills of Motrin to me. Now that hurt for that one day, and I didn't have to do nothing else. Now I'm gonna tell you, a chick. Now when it comes to her periods and stuff, you gotta be careful with that,
Yeah.
and you gotta be careful. The vagina is super sensitive. I mean, soap can mess that thing up, and she'll get UTIs and all
Yeah.
that extra, like urinary tract infections. Now I'm gonna tell you, what like, I don't recommend having sex during periods. I don't recommend having sex if she's really hairy and she hasn't shaved and all that extra stuff, because you could get, it's common. You can get a common like STD, but it's from not being very clean, and it's from not being able to get it as clean as it needs to be because of the hair blocks the soap, and it just that when you're too hairy, it just happens that way. It's and she'll get UTI infections from your penis going through her hair, and her hair being as long as it is entering her vagina, giving her UTIs, and in turn giving you bladder infections and stuff. Going to burn when you pee, testicles are going to burn, and then you're going to get a shot. It's going to be yellow, and they're going to put it on the right side of your butt cheek, and it's going to numb your whole leg from like 9 o'clock p.m. to fucking like the morning. Okay, and I'm just letting y'all know that's what that's like. So don't do that.
I want to just say, just to get in there, that I think it's important for people, if you don't want to have kids and you're dating somebody, it's important to say that up front to the person. When y'all first y'all going and y'all thinking about getting together, have that conversation about whether y'all are, wanting to have kids. Because if the other person doesn't want to have kids, respect that and try to find somebody who does want to have kids if
Yeah,
that's
do
what they
that.
want to do. If it's important, because you want to be with somebody who has common interest to you. If you want to have kids, find somebody who want to have kids. If you with somebody who doesn't want to have kids, don't be with that person.
Yeah.
The reason why is because
Don't.
if you're a woman and you get pregnant by a guy who doesn't want to have kids and it's by accident, then be prepared for him to say, well, you know what, I really don't want any kids and I want you to get an abortion. And you know, people might say an abortion is bad, it is evil, but it's not going to hurt a baby because it's not a baby yet. These are just cells. They're not going to be hurting a baby.
Huh.
And another thing about getting an abortion is it's important to get it if you do not have any way to support a kid. If you in college, don't think about having no baby.
Because then your baby's gonna die in front of your face, and it's gonna starve to death in front of your face.
Yeah, and that's when it's already here. But you can get an abortion. Some people say, well, oh, well, it's depressing and this and that other. You always wonder about stuff. Yeah, but if you want to have kids in the future, you can have them when you are more settled. You built your career, you got a house, your car, your everything that you want to have, and you're with a person who wants that. It's important to find somebody who wants the same thing, because you can risk losing that person if you carry a baby and you don't tell the person. You can lose that person because the person might leave you. Some people are crazy enough to try to kill you.
Yeah,
If you have
some
a
people
baby.
crazy
Some
like
guys
that.
may do that to a woman. Or the guy may just leave. He may go to the military.
Especially if you're trying to do the whole trapper man thing with it. Now I say this: if you've been telling her this whole time you don't want to have kids and whatnot, and then she goes and has one on you anyway, yeah, I understand. I mean, go ahead and leave her, because the amount of disrespect, you'll never be able to trust her again. She's basically telling you how much she hates you when she has a kid by you, knowing that you don't want to have kids in any relationships till the time you're dead, and she
Oh,
does that anyway.
and, and before that, with that too, for a guy to kind of help you out, as men, I think something important too. If the girl that you're going with has a baby, it's important for you to get a paternity test. That's very important to get that, so you can determine the child's ailments or whatever from both sides of the family. That's very, 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 very important to do, because you want to know if the child's going to have any type of diseases or anything like that or whatever, and so you can determine what child's, what families it goes to, because if you find out your girlfriend slept with somebody else and it's not your baby, well, you can leave and you are not going to be susceptible to child support, and you have those records and you keep those. Now you have to make sure that you get a paternity test. Make sure right after you have the baby, make sure you're able to get that paternity test and stuff like that. That's very important to do.
You only got a year to a year and a half to do that.
Yeah, so when the baby turns about 6 months, or you could do it earlier, you just have to go to the doctor, find out when you can do that, and get it because you want to be concerned about the health of the child and stuff like that and stuff. Now, one thing I think people don't know about kids is that decide that, women who decide they want to have kids or something like that, and other people may not think about, maybe even men, is that there's a possibility that the baby that you have, it could come out having a deformity. It could have a disability. The child could have cancer. The child could be born without a limb or limbs, or it can have a mental illness, or it can have autism or something like that. Every baby may not necessarily come out healthy. And the baby's health is also determined by the health of the parents as well. So if neither of you were healthy when, you guys had sex or whatever, if you were not healthy, you smoked, you drank, y'all did drugs, whatever, the baby is going to come out with a deformity. You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to get those pictures and all that other kind of stuff as well. The crickets are going back up. But, think about it. What are you guys going to do, if your child has a disability? What are you going to do? What if it's a physical disability? They only have one eye, or they don't have, they're born with half a brain. There's a baby that's born with half a brain or something like that. You want to have a kid, it's important for you to be careful, because some people are lazy and they don't want to get up and take care of, check on their baby when it's asleep, and a baby died like that. Guys,
Yeah.
so it's very important. If you want to have kids, be committed to it. But be with somebody who wants to have the kids and stuff like that. Not with somebody who doesn't. There's probably a lot of women who are going to say, well, how can she say that? Well, I'm going to say that because, I think it's important for both parents to love the kid. The kid needs the mother and the father, to be there with them. A boy needs a mother to, know how a good woman is going to treat him, and stuff, and have the good qualities. Whatnot, and a girl needs a father so she knows what a good man looks like. And if you're not with anybody like that, you should not be having a kid, in my opinion. But I feel like both people need to make sure they are established, they have a car, they have a house, they have their career set or whatever, and they are sure that they want to have kids. Don't just have it because it's a fad, because that baby is not just going to be there for one day, and it's not something you can take back. It's going to be there for 18 to 21 years, and if they can't get no job, they're going to be living with you. So think long and hard about that before you decide to have kids. We don't have kids because we've decided, that's not for us. We have things where we're going to have businesses. We want to have a certain type of house, certain type of cars. We want to travel and stuff. And we just do not want to take on the responsibility of a kid. And it's responsible for us to say we don't want to have kids because we don't want to bring a child into this world that can get hurt.
State.
Yeah, because there's kids dying.
The survival rate is too low.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, would you like to end it?
Anyways, I think this has been a collab with my fiance Michelle here.
Yeah.
I'm 27.
And I'm 26 years old as well, so.
And we live with each other.
Yeah.
We've been together like 6 years, so hey.
Yeah.
It's about to be 7. So.
Yeah, we're engaged too, but we're working towards that. We're not really kind of jumping to it.
Yeah, I mean, stuff hard. Like, I don't recommend getting married if y'all still arguing, y'all having lots of problems. You know what I'm saying? Or, you still feel like you ain't loved enough and you still can't figure each other out. Get that stuff figured out.
Or if y'all only been together 3 months. If y'all been together 3 months or 6 months and y'all don't know much of each other and y'all only been dating and y'all ain't lived together, don't even think about getting married, and don't think about no kids and thinking you committed to something just because of that.
The advice I'm giving you guys, I got from 2 teachers in college. They was already settled down before they got married and before they lived with each other.
And what was settled down?
They had a car, they had a house already. They each did. They each was in their careers. They were teachers. That was their career. You know, they were salary. That's what they knew their money was coming in and what money was going out, and they had expenses that they knew. And
Had they ever been married at all, or
no, I mean,
they
I don't
dated?
know that. I actually don't know that part. All I know is that they both got married then, and
Uh-huh.
they didn't live with each other before they got married. Okay, so probably did it the church way. But by the way, they know what they're doing. They tell you guys to live with each. They tell you guys to
Don't live together.
don't live together.
Don't
They
have sex.
don't have sex. They know what they're doing. What they want. They know that the rate of a divorce is a whole lot higher if you don't do that stuff. You don't figure each other out. You don't know each other that well. So that way you can just go right back to their church and spend that money again for marriage again with somebody else.
Or
Come
you
on.
can just keep giving money to the church too,
Yeah, like
which is what you do every Sunday.
That ain't slick. We know what that's about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if marriage was so important, they really wanted it ordained by God, it'd be a whole lot cheaper. So they can get on out of here with that stuff.
Yeah, because churches charge you money to get married too.
Right.
They do.
I mean, by the time you gotta put money in a pot and they charge you for you actually gotta pay for your blessings. I mean, come on. How does that work? I mean, God's not taking care of the freaking church. He's got bills going up. He can't keep the lights on. He's sending angels in the Bible, but he's not sending the angels to the pastor to give him money, stuff like that. Come on, that's something's fishy and it's suspect. All right, thanks for watching, you guys. This has been a collab. Say bye.
Bye.
All right.